Johnny boy.
What's happening?
What's the crack?
With what?
Oh, nothing. I just new hair.
Just going through some character development.
What's developed? What's new? New in the world of John.
They're stirring.
Say less stirring.
Yeah. Put the kibosh on the stirring right now.
Funny you say that. Kind of why we wanted to speak to you. Not really about the stirring, but about the less stirring. You probably heard us mention for months now about having this whole shot caller thing underneath me and STE, right?
Yeah.
And having roles. Just to cut to the chase, kind of at the point of not wanting to just talk about it and get people in the roles and see how it works. And I think logically you'd be a good fit for it, providing we get serious John when needed and, you know, not cooking up no internal meltdowns and people's wives crying and all sorts of tissues flying everywhere and just stirs, you know?
I feel you. If that's what you need, I can bring that.
Well, I would want to know if, you know, you'd even want to roll like that, because I know you've been a leader before, so in my head it makes perfect sense, but comes down to whether you want to deal with all that shit again.
If I'm going to be honest, I feel like at the minute I'm sort of in that role anyway, just with when you's on around, like trying to get shit moving, crates, trying to just making sure people are, like little things, checking the ping around, getting the money runs done. Because like, I feel like there's a lot of people where if you don't start saying this needs doing, they'll just
100%.
stand around and all, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people do already listen. Like if you ask Kai and all that, like if I ask him to do something, he's gonna do it. And if you ask him why, he says just because I do.
But that's good, because it's almost that's what happened with STE. People kind of treated him like second in command before he had the role, so it just makes it way easier.
Yeah.
So we want to have 3 people. Who do you think would be a good fit for the other 2?
Right,
and
this is where it gets second,
well
right?
with, you know?
Because James does a lot, but he's also gets his bum out a lot.
Yeah.
Like, because he does a lot. He's a grafter. Not Blondie. I would definitely say Blondie. And if anyone's got anything to say against Blondie, they can do what she does for a week, and we'll see how it's going.
Disregard what people are doing though, and go more from like a decision-making leadership standpoint. Yeah.
DJ Blondie Bones, like out of them 3.
DJ Blondie Bones.
Yeah.
Because me and
I feel like you need
sorry, go ahead.
You need different attitudes and outlooks. Do you know what I mean? If you have a bunch of people that see shit the same, do you know what I mean? You need like people with a different perspective a lot of the time.
So we're on the same page about one of those. So the names we mentioned was Bones. Bones is one of them. I think Bones would be good for like later Storm as well, right? Like if people aren't around, there needs to be someone who can make a call. Bones is there. We mentioned Blondie. I think Blondie puts in a lot of work, and is like the role she's in is like perfect. She's a backbone of the gang, arguably, along with James and Steve, right? But I think when it comes to calls and leadership and like communication to people, I don't know if she'd thrive in that role as much as she thrives in the role she's in right now, you know?
Yeah, I feel that.
Bones for me is kind of a no-brainer if you think the same thing. The other person, and I'm kind of aware this one's probably going to rub a couple people the wrong way because it's fresh, is Taylor, but that's just because of experience. And I think you, Taylor, and Bones would offer 3 differing opinions, but you'd also be able to have an adult conversation and come to like resolutions. What do you think on Taylor? I mean, you've got history,
I think
right?
you need to give Taylor time, otherwise you're gonna ruffle. As much as like it's a leadership call, you will ruffle a lot of feathers with that.
I don't disagree.
He has already been kind of appointed war general too, to be fair.
Whoa. Let's not start throwing that Taylor around so
He definitely has.
You need to chill out a little bit with that one.
He definitely has.
Yeah, because if we
Listen,
start doing it...
if you're getting put in this position, you won't be the war general.
What does that...
for sure.
That's give up war general title?
Not necessarily, but...
No, listen. Taylor's a good fit, but if you give it time, otherwise you're going to get a bit of like pushback and a bit of an attitude from some people. Maybe not like up front, but like behind your back, the talking, and they're just going to be more of a hoo-ha than you can really be arsed with. But if you give it time for him, because a position like this, he needs to earn everyone else's respect before he can fully like be put in this position and be effective. Because if he gets put in here now when people are forced to respect him, they're going to push back. But if they already respect him before he's put in a position, it's a lot more of like an easier transition. Because like it'll be a case of why should...
with that.
Yeah, it's like, why should I listen to you? He's like, well, because I'm this. Like if he's got to use that as a way to get shit done, or not that he will, I think he might have to sometimes. I mean, Steve did, bro, back in the day. Do you know what I mean? Like Steve received pushback. Not so much now. I think a lot of people do respect Steve and just listen to him.
It's because Matt doesn't wake up anymore.
True. But I do think he gets a little bit more respect from people then the transition to
Who
that
do
spot will be a
you
lot
think
easier.
is the people that would have the biggest problem with it?
I don't know. A lot of people are situational. It's like they'll say they'll respect them, and then he'll do something they don't like, or he'll tell them to do something that they don't want to do, and then that's when the pushback will come. And a lot of people have got like their little egos and attitudes and that. Do you know what I mean? So it's not. It's a one of them.
I don't think anyone would have a problem with Bones.
Nah.
I think it's because he's just like very inoffensive, but he can make a good decision. Like he's got a good head on his shoulders.
Yeah.
And he's a bit more passive as well, which I think will balance out in the three. I think so. What we want to do as well is we want to bring in 3 people and then have OGs, which it's not necessarily like command. Like there's no, they don't have authority in a sense.
So send them out of respect.
But it's like, yeah, it's people in the group who it's like we want to give them a role to be like, you have respect, like you've done good shit, you have respect in this group, like you're an OG. And like, given the scenario, me and Steve aren't around, you 3 ain't around, and it's just OGs are members, then an OG's opinion is going to be weighted more than a normal member.
Yeah.
It's not to be confused with them being put in a command position where they can just make calls on everything when we're not around.
Their input will be highly
know
valued though.
Oh
But
yeah, that would be, yeah.
Because it's not like there's a lot of people in the group who add a lot of value, and I want them to know that they add value and like give them some sort of reward for that, but they wouldn't throw like someone like Terry, right? As much as he causes so much pain a lot of the time, like I value him in the group and I think he's a good asset. And it's like I want to be able to put them in an area, but someone like Terry just doesn't work as a shot caller based on his past, right? And like just how he can be.
Terry needs focus. He's like a tool. You need to use him to do something. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Someone needs dealing with. You send Terry. He's not the person to make the call, but he's like to enforce the call. He was an enforcer, but you saw it getting his head fell off.
He also isn't like he's not a shit criminal. Like he can't like he's been a criminal for a while. There's a lot of people in the group at the moment who keep making like rookie mistakes out there and like getting caught for dumb shit that's avoidable. And like I think like leader to IC, shot caller, OG, and a member hang around is like a pretty standard but reliable structure, and you can see how it works.
Right. Yeah, nah. I called you down here for... I wasn't lying. It is important, but it isn't a bad important thing. It's a good important thing. Me and SK have been talking about wanting to introduce a bit more structure into the gang for a few months now.
Oh, Steven.
But to be honest, to put it bluntly, a few months ago, there was no one really standing out to fill those roles. Now we think it's a different scenario. We think there's a few people that fit those roles. We want to introduce 3 people below me and SK as shot callers, and you're one of the people that we think would fill that role well. So we wanted to call you down here, see what you thought about it, see if it's something you wanted, and go from there.
What would change? I know obviously I had more.
Both your phones calling.
I had to.
Holy shit.
Yo, I'm just in a meeting. I'll call you back.
Yo, quick one. Is it wise to give a layer a gun?
No.
More so, what would you expect it to be?
I told her she's getting up. I got a spare gun. I said, yeah, it's got 2
It'll be 3 of you. Names to be confirmed. Just give it a sec.
Nah, don't give a shit.
Yeah, all right then.
Ask her to say we don't really want to sell guns right now because we're low on them or some shit like that.
I just said I've got a spare one that's got 2 cop bodies. Let me find it. I'll call you back and then ring you.
Well, I mean, if you want to sell it to her, but don't give it to her for free.
Yeah, all right then.
All right,
sweet.
Sorry. You said what would change, right?
What would you expect that to be more so than what would change?
So for the most part, when me and Steve are around, there might be things that's like just a straight up me and Steve decision. There might be things that's just a straight up me decision or whatever. Like,
yeah,
there will sometimes be that, but there's gonna be a lot of things that will probably be like group discussions, like having you and the other people in the role, me and Steve, talk about like certain things you want to bring in, or say a situation happens, like getting multiple opinions. There's probably more expected from when me and Steve aren't around, especially with you, because you're like a lot later. Your responsibility is probably going to be a bit different to the others, which is, say for example, me and Steve aren't around, some shit kicks off in your time zone. You're going to have to be the one that is responsible for like making the calls, giving out the direction of what happens. Say the alleyway gets pushed and me and Steve aren't awake, the other 2 roles aren't awake, it's just you, and you got 6 people and they're like, let's go get back on cops. Like, you can then coordinate, right, we're gonna go do that this way, or you can say, nah, we're gonna leave it, let's pick them off one by one tomorrow, like wait till EU and assess cops or whatever. Like things like that, situations will be on your hands. When it comes to like punishments and stuff, say someone does something in your time zone and you're like, right, that's like they're up heavy, needs to be something done about it. That will never like just be on your shoulders of having to like work out a punishment on someone. Like, it would be on you to come to us, and then we go from there and work out what the fuck's gonna happen and shit like that. But it's mainly gonna be decision making and like day-to-day stuff. The likelihood of like big decisions being just solely you is very low. But
even me, like, I've probably only ever had to do that once as second in command without being able to discuss it with SK, like a big decision on my own.
Yeah.
So like, we're not going anywhere. We're just trying to implement a bit more structure so that day-to-day operations are a bit more smooth, you know? That would involve you obviously telling people what to do, and in this gang sometimes that's not the easiest thing to do. There's a lot of people in this gang that are pricks and they'll be pushed back at times, but I do feel like a lot of people in this gang already respect you enough, hence why we're looking at you for this position. So long as you're prepared to do that, put your foot down here and there, deal with a bit of pushback from some of the members, because it will happen.
Business, you know what I'm saying?
Stand on business.
Foot on necks.
Yep.
What do you reckon, Bonesy?
You know, yeah, I'm like you. When you asked me, what was it, like 5 days ago, 6 days ago? I said I was down, so it's the same. I'm in the same boat. I'm down.
Okay. Well, currently it's you and John who have both said you're down. I think you guys work well together anyway.
If you had to pick a third person to go beside you and John, who would it be?
Do time zones matter or no? This is just purely...
Not really. It's like anyone. It's not even about how much work they do. It's more like anyone, any time zone who would fit the role the best in your eyes.
Taylor, DJ, and Kai, I'd say.
Okay, that's good you say that, because we want it to be Taylor. The only thing we're thinking with Taylor is we're going to give it a little bit of time, as he's like very fresh around. It makes sense to him to have the role because he's the ex-leader, and I think he knows what he's doing. But
it's just that, and he also just got full member, so people might feel a type of way. He just got full member, and he just got a high transition like 2 weeks after. So, but yeah, I'd say Taylor, DJ, and Kai, because DJ and Kai handle most of the, I guess you call it like paperwork for the next storm, in terms of like cleaning money or especially Kai with the butt coin and getting a cash exchange going. So,
but we're not really looking at people in terms of how much work they do or stuff for the gang, because someone can be an example, like someone can be an incredible worker and do a fuck ton for the gang, but if you put them in a leader position, they'd crumble.
It's valid.
Not necessarily saying they'd crumble, but we need to people in that spot that will be able to handle it, and also be respected by the rest of the gang too.
That's valid.
So the names we had was you, John, and Taylor.
I think you guys would be able to discuss things like without you don't want someone who, the worst thing that can happen is having someone in that 3 that isn't understanding how an adult conversation goes. I don't think with you 3 you're gonna run into issues of someone just shouting over the other one, like not letting each other speak and shit like that. You know, that kind of stuff is hella problematic in those kind of environments.
It becoming a, I don't know, let's say it's me, John, and Taylor having a talk, and then one of us doesn't like the way the talk goes, so then we come to one of you two like back door and be like, well, this is what they want to do, but I think we should do this and this. And then you're gonna be like, well, did you say that there? You're like, well, no, because my voice isn't heard. It's like that kind of, nah, you gotta.
Yeah, you gotta be very outspoken. Like nothing can stay internal when you come into that role. Like that's important as well. Good point.
That's true. Like obviously there'll be times where you'll be on your own making decisions, but I think in general the 3 of you will be trying to do stuff, make decisions together.
It's also important that if there is concerns regarding me and Steve, even those are voiced. I think that's another important thing of that role.
Yeah.
Bella, shush. You know, bro.
Like, if someone has an issue with you two, they come to us, or if we have an issue with you two, we come to you. Or both. Okay, yeah.
Like, if people have issues with something we're doing and you hear about it, then it needs to be communicated to us. Or if you 3 don't agree with something we do, then it can be communicated to us as well, you know? It's important, just communication through all lines of structure. Like, like you might communicate to us and we might tell you, you know, you're full of shit. We did it for this reason, but that's at least been spoke about then, you know? It's something me and SK always do, is like we'll always talk about shit. We'll always pull each other up on shit, but it's never on like a hostile thing, you know?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay, my first like 3 minutes in this role. When's the next meeting, bruh?
Saturday, 3 p.m.
3 p.m.
Okay,
GMT.
All right, bet. Say that then.
You're not in the role until then.
Okay.
Officially.
Well then,
take those minutes back.
When's the next? Okay, yeah. I was pre-ordering, my bad, dog.
That's cool. It's cool. It's cool.
I thought I had early access.
Now we just want to make sure everyone's spoke to and knows that they're gonna have that, so we can then announce it in the meeting, and then we all good.
But yeah, we definitely need to have a meeting, because I don't remember the last time. The last time we had a meeting was when we banned DLD and shit.
After Besties War, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, they were doing it on Saturday.
Okay. Bet.
We also want to bring in OGs. Forgot to mention that part. Tell John that. Which is like, it's not a command role, It's just more like if someone's in the group and we respect like everything they've done and we want to like show them appreciation, like an OG role will be a thing, which is like you're like just like a super valid member of the group. Your opinion is like heavily valued. You're like respected on the streets, all of that shit. We try to find maybe at the tattoo spot like a tattoo that OGs can have, so it's like a thing. We make a whole deal out of it, but we'll probably bring that in after we've announced. We're going to announce on Saturday that we're going to have OGs, but we won't say who's getting it, and we'll work out properly what we're going to do and then bring it in from there.
Yep.
But yeah.
Okay.
Do us proud, Bones.
Hey.